Hey guys, it's Bear here with Journey to Preparedness, helping you prepare not only for your doomsday, but your everyday. Today's video, we're going to talk about food storage and key in on mainly long-term food storage. Some of the items that you can keep long-term that seem to keep really well is rice, pasta, beans, things like salt, sugar, honey, maple syrup. All that stuff has a really long shelf life, and I'm going to tell you ways that you can extend that shelf life by using Mylar bags. You can get a link for these down below, and the Mylar bags with the O2 absorbers, which basically removes all the oxygen out of there, keeps this stuff fresh longer, and stops any bugs or anything like that from getting into them. And so I'm going to show you how to use these today, and we'll discuss how you can keep your food storage long term. Okay guys, so this here is what a Mylar bag is, and you've seen them before in the stores with a lot of items you buy, but you just don't see the silver outside. Usually they're printed on and stuff, but the inside is the same. And then you've seen these, I'm sure, before. These are O2 absorbers, and what they do is they actually suck all the oxygen out. And when you get a good seal on here, you'll see in a couple days, basically, it just shrinks right up, which is kind of cool. But it helps keep anything from growing in there, anything harmful. A cheaper alternative to the O2 absorbers is a hand warmer that you just buy at the store. You know, if you live in a northern climate, they're pretty common for hunting and stuff like that. You can use those, but really I found that buying the packages together really isn't that much more expensive, and you get the right size for the Mylar bag. So each one of these here is the right size for this size bag, and you can buy the kits right on Amazon. One thing that I will say is, if you're going to use these, if you get a package like this, they come in individual packages like this, set up for, you know, if you're buying, I think this was a pack of 60 bags, so 20 each. Do not open up these absorbers until you are ready to use them, and use them all, because obviously once they're open, if you don't use them all, they're going to go bad. They're sealed up here so that no oxygen can get in, which is what's going to keep them from, you know, being wasted. And if you're not going to use all 20 of these bags, don't even bother starting. Just wait till you get enough. One other thing that I do recommend is taking your items like your rice and stuff like that and throw it in the freezer for 24 hours. And basically that kills any bugs that may possibly be in there, any germs or anything like that. Throw it in the freezer for 24 hours, pull it out, and then go ahead and begin with your Mylar bags. So I'm going to go ahead and just start, and I'll show you what I do here. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do when setting these up is keep track of how many portions I have per bag. And I don't keep them in just individual portions for my family, but I like to have an idea of what's actually going in here, and so I write that on the bag at the end. I'll show you that later. But we're going to start with that, so try not to make a mess here. But each portion of this rice is a quarter cup dry, so I know for each cup that I put in here, I will have 4 portions. Pretty simple math, right? And obviously I could fit a lot of cups in here, and it takes a little more time than it would if you just threw the whole bag in there. But, and there I am making a mess. Weird. But sometimes, you know, these bags are pretty big and not all of it's going to fit in here, and I don't want this big giant bag, 5 pounds of rice, open it all at the same time. So that's why I like to do portion and limit how much I'm putting in there. So now I got 8, right? 12. If I could do it without spilling the rice all over, that'd be great. I have to make sure I clean this up and maybe vacuum before the wife gets home. She'll wonder why there's rice all over the place until she sees the video later. 16. 24. I think we'll stop at 28. It's not quite the whole bag. 28. And you know, once you open up this bag, I mean, obviously it's gonna last for a while. That's pretty heavy there. That's pretty good. Once you open up this bag here, it's gonna last you for a while. But putting it in this Mylar bag, what it does is extends up. I'm not gonna tell you that it will extend it past the expiration date, because legally I can't tell you that it extends past the expiration date. Okay, but you can look it up. It'll extend it past the expiration date. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Okay, so by putting it in this Mylar bag with the O2 absorbers, it will extend it out for, I mean, you're talking 10, 20 years. Okay, so then what you do is you take your O2 absorber, stick it in there, right? You want to try and get as much of the air out as possible. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is, you can see here it's got this, you can see that there, it's got this little ridge here. That's where you can pull them to open them. So you don't want to seal them past there, but all you do is I get just an extra board I had laying around, scrap piece, and then you take yourself hold on, this isn't even heated up. All right, we'll come back and do this later. My bad. We'll let that heat up a little bit and I'll finish. I'll come back to this. All right? Gotta be prepared. Ha! Right? All right, so we'll go on to the next one. So we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna count it out. One of the main staples for most reppers is going to be rice and beans, because of their shelf life, their ease of cooking, okay, their ease of storage. You know, they last forever for the most part. There are some beans that don't last as long as others, like kidney. But a lot of your dry beans will have a long shelf life, you know, 10, 20 years, so on. So that is part of the reason you want this to be a staple of your long-term storage. You want to make sure that you have something for your family in an emergency. And it cooks up really easy. Just add some water. You know, as far as beans go, you just, you know, soak them and then cook them. Man, I sure am making a mess with this rice. Sheesh. What a waste. Normally I don't have to make sure I got everything in a camera angle, but want to make sure you guys can see everything that I'm doing here. And these bags you can pick up relatively cheap. Rice is obviously cheap. Beans are cheap. They're always in abundance at the stores, whether it be, you know, you go to Costco and get a big, huge, giant bag of it, or you go to, you know, Walmart or something and get a 5-pound bag of rice. It's inexpensive. Same with things like pasta and beans, you know, and like I said, by doing this, you definitely extend the shelf life. I think that's pretty good for that bag. And storage is a breeze. You basically can take them then and put them right into a Rubbermaid tub and call it a day. Make sure I got everything underneath there. Alright. Still getting some rice in here. Oh, it's over there. There we go. Okay. So now I got this ready to go here. See that there? Okay, make sure I'm in the camera view. And now, this is getting pretty warm. So basically all you do then is heat the end. That's it. Okay? You want to make sure, try and get all, make sure there's no gaps. Okay? Obviously you don't want any air getting in because your mission here is to make sure no air gets in. So you don't want any leaks. So make sure you go all the way across. Try and keep it as flat as possible. You know, I like to do a pretty large section here. You know, an inch, you know, ½ inch to an inch seal on here because these bags, like I said, have these notches down below. So once you pull that, all this is gone anyways. So if you make sure you get a good seal here, it will, you come check it in a couple days and you'll see that it is sealed right up. And you'll be able to tell because in a couple days it will suck all the oxygen right out of it. So now that's sealed up. Pretty warm. And now you've got no leaks. There it is. There's your seal. All I did was take a piece of scrap wood and an iron, seal across there. I got my O2 absorber in there. We're good to go. Now on to the next one. Show you one more time here. And like I said, you kind of want to go run it back and forth. You want to make sure, because there's going to be some little ripples and bubbles, and you want to make sure you get enough sealed down so that everything is blocked out. There is no ripple that goes all the way through that's going to allow any oxygen in there. Okay? It's pretty simple, it doesn't take long, and you can do a lot of food very quickly, and it will store for a very long time. Again, I can't tell you that it extends the shelf life, but you can look it up and you can see that it extends the shelf life. And there we go, another bag sealed. That was it. In a matter of a couple minutes now, I got a ton of pork. Oh, and then what I do is I'll take this. I got rice everywhere. I'll clean that up here after. Take this and I will put down. So a portion was a 1/4 cup dry, right? And we had, I believe it's 28. So we have here, so I'll write down on my bag, okay, jasmine, rice, 28 portions, okay? And then on some of my bags, I've actually taken the time to write down exactly how to cook it on the stove, how long it takes, you know, because this is not your minute rice. This is actually your long cooking rice. So it'll tell you, you know, how many cups of water per, how many cups of rice, how long to allow it to cook, you know, how to cook it, and stuff like that. So same with beans and all that kind of stuff. I know it's pretty simple, but this way anybody can do it. Anybody in your family can do it if you write down all that information. So if you write down what it is, the day you packed it, that's another good thing to have on there. Okay, so, and I just put the month and year, 03 19. Okay. Put the month and year on there, and how to cook it, and then what I usually put the portion size also, how many portions, the portion size, and then I put in there how to cook it. And what that does is that makes it so anybody can grab this bag and make themselves some rice, because you never know where you're going to be in the event of an emergency. You may not be able to get home, and if somebody needs to use this, they need to. You may know how to cook it, but somebody else may not. So it's good to have, and good for everybody to know what they need to do in an emergency. Same thing here works with pasta. Okay. Take this bag of bow ties, and with these, let's see how much we can get in one bag. I might go 2 bags with these, but we'll check it out. This is right from Costco. Some nice organic pasta. Come on. I guess I'll keep just one in there. It'll store nicely, and I can fit more bags in there. That's fine. Put the O2 absorber in there, and then again, right back down. And you know, people may think, well, why are you doing that? It's a waste of. You know, some people may think it's a waste of bags, but this is stuff that I don't plan on touching. Okay, this is stuff that's going to store for a very long time. I mean, you know, in an emergency, obviously we'll break into it, and you know, as we need, as it gets closer to, you know, a shelf life 10 years from now, we may start breaking into it just to rotate stock. But other than that, I don't plan on touching this stuff. This is my long-term food storage. This is something that you're not necessarily going to rotate on a regular basis. You will rotate it, but not as frequently as, you know, things like your other canned goods and stuff like that. And I'm not talking your you know, number 10 cans or your Mountain House freeze-dried or any other freeze-dried foods, you know, Saratoga Farms or anything like that. I'm not talking about, you know, your freeze-dried or your dehydrated foods that have a 10 to 20 year shelf life. I'm talking about your, you know, canned vegetables and meats and stuff you get at the store. Obviously, you're going to rotate those as stock. But this stuff here is my long-term food storage. So this is stuff that I plan to have for a very long time and not use. So this is some organic tricolor and they call this a bow tie. This is on 3 of 19 again, and serving size. So I have 9 servings in there. Yeah, 1 bag, 9 servings. So, and again, obviously, you know that these servings that they put on here, not necessarily, you know, accurate for what their serving sizes these days are. The way they get away with lowering the calorie count or lowering the carbohydrate or the fats or anything like that in these items in the store nowadays is by reducing the serving size. So they tell you that it has this really low serving size and really all, you know, are these really low calories or carbohydrates or fats and things like that. But really all they did was shrink the serving size. So it's not a real serving size for a person necessarily, but it is what it is. So now we got, So I actually have found, if you watch a lot of times, if you do go to Walmart, you will find the organic pasta on sale a lot of times and cheaper than the non-organic, which is crazy, but it works out great. So I will take next some spaghetti, and I will store that right in there. Now let's make sure here that I'm below my rip line. Yep, good. And with the spaghetti, I'm actually just going to put 2 of these in there right away. Just because I feel that one is really not enough. Doesn't take up enough space. And while I did only put 1 in the other one, I think 2 will be alright. I mean, if you're at the point where you're going to open this up, you're going to go through it, right? If you're at the point where you're into your food, long-term food storage, and you're using, all your pasta and all your rice and all your beans up, you're probably going to want to get over there. Let's get this even. Yeah, if you're at that point, see if I can get this just right here. Let's start down here. Let's see. Come on now. Look at right, just like that, you can see how quickly it's sealed up. Really could use an extra hand here, but we'll make it work. Just one little, doesn't take much to get this to seal. I just like to go over it a lot to make sure, again, I don't miss anything, because I'd hate to be taking the time to do this and having this store for 5 years and all of a sudden go check on it and there was oxygen in it and now it's bad. So you kind of wasted your time. But there, now we've got ourselves some spaghetti noodles, right? Let's check out the serving size on this hog right away. So nine per container. So there are 18 servings. There. Done with that. Alright, so, and like I said, you can just keep doing this and go on with all your items. Rice, beans, pastas, Again, I put on here, and like I said, I'd put on there exactly how to cook it, which I'll do after this video. I don't want to bore you with that stuff. But all you do is take this then and get yourself a little Rubbermaid tote and pile them in there, and then you can label that, rice and beans, or pasta and rice, or, whatever's in there. And that way when you open it up, you got all these nice Mylar bags that are kept. And again, I'm not telling you that it will store past its shelf life legally, but I can tell you what I do and what my family does. And this stuff I will eat 10 years from now. Absolutely no problem with that for myself and my family. You make your own decision as to how long you want to keep this stuff and how long you think it'll last, but I do believe it's a good idea to have some long-term food storage just in case. You never know. And I'm not necessarily talking, end of the world situation, which could happen. There could, nobody, I bet you the people in Venezuela never thought there'd be civil unrest and they'd all be searching for food and dying of starvation, but they let socialism take over. But what happens if you lose your job? Okay, you lose your job, now at least you have this, because you spent $5 extra or $7 extra and got yourself 5 pounds of rice. So at least now you can eat right. You have rice to eat, or pasta, or an extra $1 or $2 every time you go to the grocery store and get yourself a couple extra canned goods, or get yourself a couple extra things of pasta, and get these kits on Amazon are relatively inexpensive, especially for the amount you get. You get a lot of bags for a small amount of money, and it's that simple. I just showed you how easy it is to do. So get out there, get yourself some long-term food storage, get yourself some of these Mylar bags, put it together, put it away in a closet, in the basement, anywhere. Make sure it's sealed up so you don't get any mice or rats or anything trying to dig into it. But get it sealed up, get it tucked away, and just leave it there and forget about it. And if you ever need it, it'll be there, and it lasts a long, long time. That's all I have. So again, this has been Bear with Journey to Preparedness, helping you prepare not only for your doomsday, but your everyday. Don't forget to get yourself some Mylar bags. There's a link below. Okay, check them out, and have a nice day. Peace, love, all the above. Hey guys, it's Bear here with Journey to Preparedness, helping you prepare not only for your doomsday, but your everyday. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for our YouTube channel, like the videos that I'm posting, check us out at journeytopreparedness.net, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and don't forget to get your official JTP gear at the Teespring Journey to Preparedness store. There's a link below, so check it out. Again, we got JTP gear. It's here. Get yours now, today. Order it online at the Teespring store. Check out the link below, all right? Peace, love, all the above.